Friends are forever, or at least that's what they say. But what about when friends stab you in the back? That is the end of a friendship, usually. But what about if they actually stab you in the back? On July 6th, 2021, that's exactly what happened to 16-year-old Skylar Neese. Hello, I am Sean. If you're new here, then welcome to my channel. If you are returning, then it's great to see you again. Twice a week, I try to research some true crime that I find interesting to tell you about. I want to make sure that the victims are remembered, and there's a lot of victims out there to remember. If you're not subscribed, please do so. It's free. I appreciate each and every one of you and love to interact with comments and things like that. If you want to support me in other ways, you can buy me a coffee, and the link is down below in the description. So please right down here. If you have any ideas for future crimes, please feel free to tell me about them. Send me a message or just comment in my comments. I have done them, and I did one last week, and I'll do one again soon. So it just helps me out. I mean, I can research it, but sometimes people want to hear about crimes that they're familiar with just to hear a different take on it. So, with that being said, on with today's true crime. Skylar Annette Neese, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing her. It's either Neese or Ness, but I think it's Neese, was born on February 10th, 1996 to Dave and Mary Neese in Morgantown, West Virginia. Skylar was full of life. She was a happy 16-year-old. She was an honor student. She had a bright future, and she loved to read, and she also had an active social life. She was living in Star City, West Virginia, and she had friends and worked at Wendy's. On July 5th, 2012, she had gotten off work and went home. Surveillance video showed that Skylar snuck out of her apartment at 12:30 a.m. July 6th, and she got into a sedan and drove off. She did not take her cell phone charger, and she left her bedroom window open so she could get back in. So her parents were thinking the next morning when she was gone that she was planning on coming home, but she never made it back. So that morning, her parents, found her missing and started to search for her. Her friends were asked, and they stated that they hung out with her from 11 o'clock and dropped her off about midnight. Yeah, just right before midnight. Her major friends were Rachel Schoaf, and Sheila Eddy. And these were the two girls that picked her up at 11 o'clock and dropped her off at midnight. Eddie helped Skylar's parents search for her, but Schoaf went off to summer camp for 2 weeks, so she was gone. Searching found nothing. Missing persons was placed, and then rumors started to run rampant. There were so many rumors onto why she was missing. One of the such rumors was that she overdosed at a house party and died, and that the people freaked out and didn't know what to do, so they disposed of her body. But police officer Jessica Colbank thought differently. She said that Eddie and Schoaf, that their stories were identical, and it just didn't add up. It never altered. It was like it was rehearsed. She thought that Eddie was acting wrong and that Schoaf seemed to be scared to death. But, you can't arrest somebody on intuition. So, without any evidence, they just had to keep investigating. During the investigation, social media was a big part of this investigation. It put a huge light on the situation. On the day before she disappeared, Skylar posted on Twitter, "Sick of being home. Thanks, friends. Love hanging out with you all." But the day before that, she posted something completely different, saying, "Doing shit like that is why I can't ever completely trust you." So, teenage girl issues, a rift in the trio. They don't know, but there was some issues. This was something that investigators needed to investigate more. In August of 2012, State Trooper Chris Berry was assigned to the case. He believed that it was only too long or so long before the murderer would slip up. He stated that in many cases he saw them start bragging about their deeds and was hoping that this would be the case with Eddie or Shof. Trooper Berry set up a fake profile, a fake online persona to pretend to be an attractive teenage boy. The persona was attending West Virginia University, and he began to search Facebook and Twitter with hope of linking up with the girls. Once he did, then he could actually search their profiles and hoped to get some the mental states of the girls from their post. Once he was connected with them, he started to investigate. They found that Eddie was outgoing and perky, while Shof was more the quiet one. But the investigators found it peculiar that neither girl showed any signs of being upset that their friend was gone. Though prior to Skylar's disappearance, there were tons of pictures of the trio together. After, Eddie started posting pictures of just her and Shof, and no mention of, "Hey, where's our friend Skylar?" They showed no empathy or compassion or sorrow that their friend was gone. In fact, on November 5th, 2012, she posted that no one on earth could handle her and Rachel. If you think you can, you're wrong. But she was also getting nervous. Both of them were. They were hearing things on social media that made them think this way. Some people on Twitter actually started to accuse them of murdering Skylar and told them that it was only a matter of time before they'd be caught. Also, the girls were brought in by the police for interviews very often. And since they were the last two that saw her alive, they wanted to make sure. I'm not sure why it took so long for Officer Colbank to figure something out, but she finally did figure something out with the security camera footage. The car that Skylar got into at 12:30, the night that she disappeared, belonged to Eddie. Even though the evidence kept pointing at them, they never had enough to charge the girls without a confession. But then on December 28th, 2012, the police got a call from a frantic parent that their daughter was out of control. They said that she was hitting them, screaming, and running through the neighborhood. It was Patricia Shof, Rachel's mom. She stated that her husband had contained Rachel and for the officers to hurry. Well, the officers came and picked her up, and she was ready. She wanted to confess. She blurted out, "We stabbed her," and then just kept talking. The truth of what happened to Skylar became more and more clear to the officers. Apparently, the girls had been planning for at least a month in advance that they were going to kill her. They actually started planning it in science class. They agreed that they should kill her, and when it came to the night, they got ready. Shof grabbed a shovel from her dad's house, and Eddie took 2 knives from her mom's kitchen. They also took a change of clothing and some cleaning supplies. So they had a lot of premeditation here. They put it all in the car and went to pick up Skylar together. She just assumed that they were going to go out for a drive, have some fun, smoke some pot. Uh, and they did. They drove over to across the state lines to Pennsylvania, and they had smoked pot over in this area before, and that's what Skylar thought they were going to do. So when they parked and got out of the car, Skylar thought nothing about it and was just walking in front of him. She didn't question why the girls were wearing hoodies when it was so hot outside, but they were using it to conceal their knives. They were falling behind Skylar, and Shof said on three. Well, that's when they pounced on her. They started stabbing her. Skylar actually at one point started to get away, but apparently one of them stabbed her in the knee so she couldn't run. After being stabbed a dozen times and right before dying, Skylar uttered the word, "Why?" This was all according to Shof, so who knows if it actually happened or not. But you know what? The police were asking the same question. And Shof just said, we didn't like her, and we didn't want to be friends with her anymore. On January 16th, 2013, they located Skylar's body. Shof took them out to the woods, but couldn't find the exact location, and it took a week before they found her. But it was not until March 13th that they had identified her remains. She was so decomposed and everything like that, they could not identify it as Skylar. So now they could charge Shof with murder. But they still needed to connect Eddie to this. And that came on May 1st when they arrested her. They had finally matched some blood samples in her trunk of her car to Skylar. Shof pled guilty of second-degree murder on May 1st, 2013. She was sentenced to 30 years in prison, but would be eligible for parole after 10 years. Eddie, on the other hand, pled guilty to first-degree murder on January 24th of 2014. She was sentenced to life in prison and would be eligible for parole after 15 years. Eddie showed no remorse. Shof expressed remorse during the trial and at her parole hearing in May of 2023. She also this time finally revealed the real motive to why they murdered her. She said that her and Eddie were romantically involved, and it caused tension in the group of three, as they wanted to be together and not have Skylar there, so the easy way is to just kill Skylar. Her parole was denied. It also came out that many students had heard them plotting this murder, but none of them ever came forth. So this could have been prevented way before she died, but all these kids kept quiet. You know, I always hear the snitches get stitches thing. I know one of my kids said that, and it's the dumbest thing. On March 27, 2013, the West Virginia House of Delegates approved Skylar's Law with a 98-0 vote. On April 12th, the West Virginia Senate passed the law, and the governor, Earl Ray Tomblin, signed it into law on May of 2013. The law modifies the Amber Alert plan to issue immediate public announcements when a child is reported missing and in danger, regardless of the child is believed to have been kidnapped or not. At the time of her disappearance, they did not release an Amber Alert because she didn't meet all 4 criteria. And I've thought that for a while about the Amber Alert, because I know other states still hold true with the for criteria, which if they don't know that you're actually kidnapped, they don't issue an Amber Alert. I think if a child under 18 goes missing, they need to just do the Amber Alert no matter what. Even if they ran away, it would help. You know, I've had tons of friendships come and go in my years. I'm just glad that I've never gotten stabbed by any of them. And I'm sorry that this happened to Skylar. I feel bad for her parents, her family, her other friends that didn't try to kill her. You know, and I can't, you know, I'm sorry to the killers' families, but come on, I mean, I can't show too much compassion on that side of the fence. It's a hard situation, you know. What would Skylar be doing now? I mean, that's been 12 years ago. She would have been, what, 28 now? Could have been a mother by now, out of college, doing something. And she never got that chance. So, this is the story of Skylar Neese. Rest in peace. I'm really sorry. My cat's sorry too. But thank you for watching. If you're not subscribed, please do so. Otherwise, I will see you next time. Be good to yourself and be good to others. I love you all. See you next time. Bye.